All right. In the meantime, Ilias, kick it off. How do you measure impact assessment at your nonprofit, and what specifically do you measure?
Absolutely. Listen, I would start with I'm sorry, I'm going to start with the worst metric ever. But I'll start with that though, because that's also like how we measure our impact is the good feeling when people come to you and share with you their own stories of how we impacted their lives, whether it's a startup who got a client through one of our activities, whether it's someone who found a job through one of our activities, whether it's a scientist who was able to launch their own startup after attending one of our activities, whether it's someone who seized an opportunity through one of our newsletter, or I see that my colleague Andy is here as well, is through the calendar or the community calendar that we have. And few people actually send us a message telling us like, thank you so much for that, because it allowed me to go to this activity through our calendar and I got this opportunity. I know this is the worst, and I'm sure like Denise, that's not what you want to hear. So I'm sorry to start with that, but I think this is the most important part for us as a human, that connection with our users or our constituents who are grateful for the work we do. That's kind of like warm and fuzzy feeling that you have in your stomach when you hear that comment is what keeps us going.
You mean those
So that's
touchy-feely things are important, Ilias?
Absolutely. But I'll talk about data, and I'll talk about how we measure things as well. So that actually is really important for me, because that's also like you want to wake up in the morning knowing that you have a mission and you're happy about the mission and the impact that you have. And that's the interconnectedness between humans and how people come back to you, telling you what you did, good or bad, or how they saved an opportunity thanks to you. Now, that being said, we're lucky, and it comes with a responsibility, but we're lucky to have great partners, great funders, corporations, incubators, accelerators, government agencies who support us financially. And that comes with reddition de compte, we say in French, sorry, and reporting. And we're in the middle, literally, of our end of year reporting for the variety of partners. And we're lucky to have some amazing people who are tracking some of the data. So on our end, regarding activities that we run, whether it's open innovation or collaborative innovation activities where we bring startups to collaborate with partners, some of the tracking we do is obviously around the number of startups that are in touch and that we work with directly with the partner. That's one way, but also through the distribution and the growth of our community itself, whether through our events. So those are like easy metrics, like how many people actually attended, what is the percentage of people who registered versus the people who actually attended. We also share a calendar and what we call a startup kit, which is a database and a document that we share with community members about the startup resources and opportunities that there are in the ecosystem, and we measure how much it's distributed. We don't do it as well as I would love to do, but still it's a good way to do so. Same goes with the newsletter. How many people are subscribed? How many people open it? How many people click? Are we doing better from previously or not? Same goes with our community members on Facebook. We are at about 11,000 people. So are we growing? Is the engagement better? Because it doesn't matter whether you have like 10,000, 11,000, or like 100 people. If you are having great engagement and people are actually contributing and supporting each other, that kind of interaction are more important than just the number of people. And that we are constantly thinking of how to do better. Obviously, are we doing the best? No, I think we definitely have room for growth and improvement. Also through the diversity of people. And this is actually really important. And I know some of my team members are annoyed by what I say, which is okay, because that's also how we grow. But like we care about diversity and inclusion, and we care also about the diversity and obviously the inclusion of the people themselves, as whether how they identify from a gender perspective, a color, and origins, etc., but also typology or like a skill set, not skill set, but like more like, are they researchers? Are they entrepreneurs? Are they more like on the professional level? And we have some ratios that we try to keep. So for example, even on our end from a gender, we try to keep parity, or at least at 40-60, even though like it's not just like two genders, obviously there's fluidity there, as well as the diversity of age, of origins, etc., as well as of talent. So we have some metrics there. We don't necessarily have a real dashboard to do so, but we still have like some very clear-cut things that we make sure that we don't go overboard. So like the 40-61 is something that we try to keep. Same goes with the business-to-business private meetings when that happen, or how many are they happening? What do they lead? What kind of like collaboration that happens? So there are a lot of data points that we are tracking, where it allows us to see, are we still aligned with our mission? Does it actually keep that kind of like recipe that we know we have that is leading that? But also like the base of it is also like on the performance aspect is, as I said before, like when and how many collaborative projects happen and what do they lead to? Do they lead to just like blah, 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 and we just talk and we enjoy our time together? Or do they actually lead to tangible projects between the startups and the companies? And for that, how we track that is through feedback reports. So we send surveys, we get the reports from the companies, etc. And obviously, because it's a longer time, also the outcome of such a relationship.
Those are some really great metrics. That's a lot of really great metrics, and thank you so much for being so diving into so much depth, because I like how you touched on both like the inner team metrics of the diversity elements, but also the external pieces that are touching on partners and the different stakeholders that are impacted